Welcome, this is Devlog number 1, developing my very first game, an open world, hyper realistic, massively multi RTS game with multiple branching narrative, loot boxes, battle passes, and skins. Just kidding, let's start. Hey, I'm Jared Katz, and I'm making a game. A small game. Or I think so. Oh, come on, what are we trying to fool? We always say that we're trying to do something small and we end up trying to make the next Skyrim. For those who are may asking, what are we building on? We are building an underground dwarven themed adventure game which is an first person logistical warfare game. 3 warfronts, open conflict, with an aspect of logistical warfare and an immersive crafting system that allows you to craft your own weapons in the way you want it. We have taken a big inspiration by Foxhole, which has an amazing logistical system. That's a big inspiration for us. We have taken an inspiration from multiple universes regarding the stories, of course, the known ones that we know. I don't need to say them. Probably I'm gonna get copyrighted. I don't want to say that. And of course, all of these games that we see first person that are so underappreciated, like Mordhau, Chivalry, Warhammer, Vermintide, all of these games that have a first combat battle but are not really shown so much. Games also like Dark and Darker, Dungeonborn. We would like to put our own taste in the first person genre on the fantasy aspect. First person shooter, there is way too many, and we don't need that. We played around with the mechanics we wanted to implement. We started with a small spawning area with a cave where you actually can do your questing, and a small town to actually see what's the graphic style we're going for. That was not exactly what I was expecting, but it was our first try, so I'm really proud of it. The way we decided to approach this was, first, of course, we are 3 people who do not know much. We need to expand our knowledge. So everyone took a hat to start developing. One was a designer, one was the programmer, and one was the one who needed to do all of the research. We decided to make a small MVP, which a lot of trying and trial and errors came into existence, but we had a lot of bugs and so on, and that was basically our first experience with trying to make a game. Making a small viable product was the approach for us, as we needed to test our skills and see if we wanted to do something like this and see if it's actually something that is fun to play instead of investing way too many hours and months before even deciding, hey, is it worth or not. And through there we actually realized how hard can be some stuff be and where we need to actually work on to progress further into our goal. Seeing the gaming industry in an uproar this year, and a lot of games coming out, a lot of failing, a lot of being actually hidden diamonds and not getting the credibility they need. And all of this information has just clinked to us as a people of 3, and we decided to make something out of it. Take every aspect that we enjoy in games and try to tell our own story through our own game. We needed to focus first on the game design, on how it's gonna be decided, how we're gonna move on it, as we're all people who actually starting fresh in the gaming industry and we didn't really had any much experience. It was quite an quest for us to see how we're gonna start this adventure all together as a team, with the mentality to actually turn this one day into a lifestyle. And we came down to understanding what the game design means. From the game document design, choosing your engine, the style, the aspect, the genre, third person, first person, what is it gonna be, and we laid down the stuff. We took every aspect of the games we enjoyed. We did our case studies. We have seen a lot of indie games rising this year, and our goal is to achieve this goal. But the only change that we would like to do is to take you with us in this journey and communicate our thoughts and feelings with you, and of course expect the same from you as well. The first thing that we started with was to find the niche population and player base that we were aiming for, because there is casual games, there is hardcore games. We decided to do a different approach and see how we can actually combine these two aspects into one, because the casual player base is the one that keeps actually the games together and shows the popularity, and the hardcore gamers are actually the ones who are investing the time, money, and actually making the game feel alive. And we have noticed that a lot of people are judging games by their numbers that are actually currently online, as we have seen people spamming right now for Black Hawk Wukong, that it doesn't have any more that many players. It is a single player game, people will not play it forever. Get used to it. And do a change in this, making both stuff relevant and both player bases are relevant. During the whole development of the MVP, I decided to expand a little bit my thoughts on the project itself, join the Reddits, Discords, forums, that actually game development is happening there and people are supporting each other. I faced some challenges because it is a competitive industry and not everyone is open to assist, but I found also very amazing people in these discords and forums that motivated me to keep going, and I shared my vision. Suddenly from 3 we became 4, from 4 we became 5, from 5 to 6, and now we're suddenly a group of 12 amazing people trying to make a game. Some of us have more experience, some of us less, but the goal is to actually stick together as a team and progress as a whole. So during the development phase, there was a lot of laughter, there was a lot of bugs that we faced. The netcoding was really horrible as we were trying to actually make our own netcoding spaghetti code, as the out-of-the-box Unreal one does not really support scalability, and after at some point it's gonna be way too resource insufficient, and we have a really good team member that is taking care of this, and we had some really awkward moments over there, having multiple bugs with T-posing characters flying in the air, breakdancing like the Australian Olympics, and yeah. During the phase of the MVP, we tested out a lot of mechanics on how we can actually utilize the latest Unreal Engine resources, as there was not really a lot of 5.4 updates and videos to actually work with it. All of these bugs with the motion capture and motion matching and so on was quite a challenge, but at the same time it was interesting to us to actually figure out how we can make it to not get basically an aneurysm in first person while not making it look really clunky on a third person, as the game is basically an first person game. It took us a lot of time to start understanding how we could approach this in the networking aspect of what we were trying to achieve, as it was not common. An example would be we're trying to make an immersive crafting system, that you're not just opening the UI and pressing craft and hey voila, you have an entire 5 armor that not even gods can penetrate. And this was a really big challenge. A lot of bugs were occurring during that period. A lot of people were coming in, and we were trying to adjust the scale of the product with the amount of people we had, which was not the best case. Which comes to the section of lessons. The lesson that we took as a team was that do not chew more than you what can take, even if you have the numbers, because everyone has their jobs and you might not meet the deadline as you desire. A lot of people are gonna come and a lot of people are gonna leave, especially in this industry that everyone is trying to land a job and just take as much portfolio they can and join the AAA. And a very important lesson that I took was that being open and honest was actually what is keeping the team together. Being open, communicating your issue and saying your vision and how you want your product to continue, because there is people under you that are trusting you with their time, and time is not something that comes back. And I really appreciate it when people can trust me into bringing a product into life. In this place, it's a game. A really important lesson is that keep consistency. Keep consistency. The hype will eventually die down. What's gonna keep you going is gonna be this consistency that you say, hey, 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day, do your thing. There will be burnouts, and this is why I appreciate working with my team and sharing the burden and not doing one role for everything, as we don't really enjoy all roles, and it can be really annoying and demotivating if we need to do something and it doesn't work. And what's best actually than having a team to share to share your burden and your complications. So keep going, keep the consistency. It will take time. Yes, we will never probably be able to match the AAA studios unless we're all gonna come together. Meanwhile, you can actually apply address on the Discord. The last lesson is that I have noticed that everyone is trying to make a game and they're trying to recruit everyone they find under the sun. It is not really practical. You should not do that. Believe me, it can harm your project, your resources and the time you're gonna invest in. The project started as a small idea to help a friend. Sadly, after I actually started supporting this friend, he decided to actually leave the project, but I had people under my belt and I decided to keep forward, even though the reason of Origin left the project. Still, I decided to keep going forward, and taking in multiple people and not being able to use these resources is very crucial and very time consuming, because you're gonna lose time, they're gonna lose time, and you're never gonna actually move forward. So please be sure what you're doing if you're trying to recruit people. This is why I also team management and all of these scrum masters and so on exists. I was talking bad about them, but realizing how hard it is a lot of times to do this resource management, I started appreciating them a little bit more. Up to now, the section of excuses. Yes, I know it's my first video, I'm already making excuses, but game dev is pretty demanding, okay? On time, especially on top of most of the people on the team working full-time jobs after putting time into learning every skill required to make a game and then working on this project. That doesn't really leave much time for making videos or having actual time for ourselves or our relationships, which surprisingly I'm not single yet. I'm gonna be aiming for monthly updates for now, with a little bit something sprinkled on top, with something pretty low effort like a tier list, like those are still fashionable right now, or some kind of informative chat through Discord and so on. So feel free to join on the Discord, we're gonna be posting updates there. That's it, that's the part of the first devlog. Thank you very much for staying until now, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.